Hey, what's up? It's your boy the Canologist. We're going to be doing another video. Currently I got 65 defense. Going to 70. But yeah, we're going to be doing another Leetcode. So let's solve a question right now. I did the catapult or the palindromic substring question last video, so let's do another one. Let's try insert interval. You're given an array of non-overlapping intervals, okay? This might be a graph question, I think. Okay, an array of non-overlapping intervals. Okay, so start and end represent the start and end of the ith interval. Okay, so interval I, start end, interval I1, start end. So it's basically a list of lists. Stored in ascending order by start, you are also given an interval. New interval start end represents the start and end of an interval. Insert new interval into interval such that interval is still sorted in ascending order by start, and interval still does not have any overlapping intervals. Merge overlapping intervals if necessary. Okay, what does that even mean, merge? Oh, if you have an overlapping. So you start out with non-overlapping intervals. Insert new interval into intervals such that intervals is still sorted in ascending order. Does not have any overlapping intervals. Okay, so let's look at this for what it is. So 1369 is the first one, and then you get a new interval which is 25. So you have to figure out where along the lines that this fits, and then create a new interval to keep the order of the old interval. Okay, which is fine. One, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 16, 4, 8. So basically 3 and 5. So it's greater than this. 4 and then 8 is over here. What does this produce? Because 4, 8 kind of combines whatever's here. So you get 1, 2, 3, 10, 12, 16. So this would be a good one actually to do. So let's whiteboard it and let's see exactly what's happening. So you have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So you go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. There's 8, 10, and then there's 12, 16. So basically what we have here is, let me just double check my RuneScape account. Okay, cool. I'm kind of at a point where, what do we add? 4-8. So this is the new interval, 4-8. Where does this fit along here? So it's greater than this, so we don't care. 3-5. Okay, so 4 fits in here. And then it fits in here. So the new interval list will be 4-8 is combined with this, so it'd be 3. And then 10. It would cancel out the rest of the stuff in the middle, and then we keep 3 10. So it'd be 1 2. Because we want to preserve non-overlapping intervals. If an interval does overlap like this, then you have to combine the ones that do overlap. So then we get 12, 16 stays untouched. So this is really the only thing that changed. Okay, so now we need to mimic this in the code. Okay, so now that we know what we're trying to do, we're trying to find, okay, where is the overlap, right? And what items are affected by this overlap. So I'm going to start by looking at whether the first element, which one it's greater than in the second element here. And then the second element, I'm going to look at what interval is greater than whatever the first element was at. So this is first, and it's naturally ascending, so we know that. So for example, if 4 is here, this is index 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is one big list of lists. So if I have it at 1, then I know to look from 1 onwards. So it's going to be 1 onward. And then 8. So if 8 is bigger than 1 onward, so if 8 is bigger than 2, this lasts about 15 minutes. So if 8 is bigger than, so we're already in the first one because of 4. So if 8 is bigger than the first item of the next one, so if 8 is bigger than this, yes, 8 is equal to this, okay, cool. 8 is equal to this, then we used the next one. So yeah, so for the first element of this new order, we look at the second element in each one to figure out whether it fits, and then we replace it with the first element. Then for the second one, we look at the first element of the next ones, then we replace it with the second element. So that's basically how we're going to run it. So let's look at this new interval. We're going to have to replace list elements. So yeah, like I mentioned, it's a list of lists. And then we have 4 8s that I want to put in this list. So let's look at this. How do we approach this thing? I could figure out the index and interval of where things fit. So index, interval, I could do that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go 4. And let's name it really clearly so we understand what's going on here. So now I want to go through each index. So let's try that. In range. So right now we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to find what range. So it's already default range 0, so I can go length of intervals. So now each index, which is this value, tells me which pair I'm on. So 0, 1, 2, 3, or the 4th pair. So I'm also going to want a way to store this. So let's say the new interval is already given, so we have it, and that's a list int of type list int, and it's just 2 elements. So we already have this. So what I really care about now is which index is the smallest and which index is the largest that'll fit in this interval. And then all I have to do now is compare whether that smallest, the first element, is larger than the new interval first element, and whether the largest element is equal to the new largest element. So let's look for that first. So we'll go smallest interval that it fits in, and the largest interval that it fits in. And then everything in between we can kind of get rid of inclusively. So smallest interval equals smallest interval index let's call it -1 for now because it's not set. Interval's length can be 0. Okay. So basically, let's just say if return, now we can just say interval is sorted by ascending order, so we know it's always going to be correctly ordered. Each interval length is going to be 2, so the new interval length will always be 2. Start and end will be from 0 to 10 to the 5, doesn't matter, that's not important. Interval is I.length, so each actual interval is going to be pairs of 2. And then start end 10 to the 5. Okay, yeah, so interval smallest index smallest overlapping. This is just for you guys. Interval index equals none. So for each item index, if intervals. So now we're going through the list. What list item and then what list index in that item. So now we're going to list this is the list. This is just an example. So 0, 1, 2, this is our index value going up to n. And then within each index is a 0 and a 1 representing each of these. So for example, this element would be intervals 0. So this tells you which one of these, and then which one within it is going to be this sub item. So let's say 1, and that'll be this guy. So that's what that means. So intervals index, and then if intervals index 1 is greater than greater than or equal to, so if the second element is greater than or equal to the first element, then I know the first element overlaps. Greater than or equal to the first element of the new interval. So find out where it overlaps, basically. The new interval's first element. So if the smallest of the new is equal to this, then we know it's within it. So we'll go we could just check both. So if this first element is less than or equal to, and we're just confirming for sure that it's in between this. and that there's overlap. And that way we don't mess it up any way possibly. New interval 0. So we're checking the first element of the new interval, number 4. Is it greater than or equal to 3? Yes. Is it less than or equal to 5? Yes. Okay, so now we make smallest this value. So now we know for sure it's within this inventory. So smallest. So now we found the index here. And then we can make a new interval . Called overlap interval . And then we can say overlap So basically, once we know that this is the index, we can make this new interval what's there. So we just take the smallest value, and we're checking if it's in between. So we know it's in between. So overlap add item to list in Python. Append. Okay, append. And then we can just say it's index 1 is greater than take the lowest bound, put that in there. And then basically we do the same thing for the upper. That way we only have to loop through once to find out both intervals that overlap. So if intervals index is less than or equal to new interval 1 and basically saying as we keep going through the checks, look for the smallest that does it fit within here. Okay, assign it. Then while we're still going, we're also checking for the largest one. Okay, the largest one's in this one. Okay, assign it. Now we find both indexes here, so we know what to remove from the original list and then what to append. Then we just go largest. Both these have to be met for it to work, otherwise it won't work. And then we just go overlap interval.append. One. So now we have our new pair. This generates the new pair, right? So this new interval tells us we have an overlap. The new pair is the combination of what gets overlapped. So now we have to find out, now we have to remove the ones that overlap basically. So now that we have the indexes, we have to actually remove the ones that overlap. So we've gone through everything. We found out what overlaps and where, so what indexes. Now we have to remove this block. So basically what happens is we have to do this. We found the pair, now we have to remove all these. And then we have to put in the new pair, 310. We're basically doing this portion here. We have to swap out 310 with this. So swap subarray in Python. Is that even doable? Let's see. Let's see if it is. Swapping subarray could be achieved using list slicing. Okay. Swapping sublists over a given range. I could start by identifying where I need to make a swap. So for argument's sake, let's say I got the whiteboard. One, two, three, 4, 5. Basically what I want to do is I want to take these out and I want to put in, let's just say 10 in its place. I'm trying to figure out how to do this right now because now I have my new list. So I have my new pair. Let's call it AB. And I have these other pairs and I just want to swap it in here with whatever's there. Is there a way to anti-slice? So if I go Python slicing to remove middle item. Let's see. I hate these like confirm your accounts. It's like everyone's trying to be up your ass for everything. It's really annoying. Insert item into array. Into array index at a specific index. Array insert item. Oh, splice. Okay, if you want to splice. So 012. Jenny Hedge Style. Kai Jim and Borge. Splice 20. Okay, so prototype splice. The splice method array changes the instances of the contents of array by removing or replacing existing elements or adding in new elements. Okay. I think splice is what I need. So Jan, Feb, March, April, June. Okay, cool. Replaces one element at index 4. So with May, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Months dot splice May. Okay, so let's apply this concept to what I'm trying to do now. We're gonna have to use a splice, and we're gonna have to look at the index. So the starting index. So basically, the starting index to thing. Feb 1. So start, delete count. An integer indicating the number of elements in the array to remove from. Start, delete count. inserts at index 1. Delete count is 0. Start is 1. Okay, if I think I have this correct, what this should be is, if I go back to Leetcode, so I would return the splice of overlapped interval. So overlapped interval is now set. This is my new interval. And then I want to go from start, which is smallest, to largest. And then what's the, so splice, months.splice. Okay, so what is this, 191? Okay, let's just take another dose. Let's go to months.splice. So this would be intervals. So we would return this is the start. This is the end. And then this is what I want to replace it with. Overlap interval. And if that's true, that should be it. If did you mean intervals? Intervals, where is intervals? New interval, intervals, len intervals, which is a list of lists. New interval, intervals. List object has no attribute splice. I thought it does. Months.splice. Oh, that's JavaScript. Fuck. Okay. Python does not have a direct splice method like JavaScript. Oh, you just have to directly reference the slice you want to replace. Replaces elements at 1, 2, 3. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you replace with this. So what I'll do is I just have to slice and then replace. So I could do this. Intervals this slice. To this slice. Index. Smallest to largest. This is why I get the indexes in the first place. Then I just say equal to this. And then I just return intervals as is. And I'm done. Should do the same thing. 2, 5, 1. Okay, my output is 1. what this should do is get the largest index, the smallest index, and then now I create a slice for that index. I could go index plus 1 because it's not inclusive. Let's try that. Oh, right, wrong one. Overlap interval. This is what it should look like. Oh, it shouldn't be in the for loop. Okay, that's what's happening. That's messed it up. Smallest, largest, overlap. And it's going to be largest plus 1 because it's non-inclusive. That should work. Plus for type int. This should just be a value. Why is it not a value? Overlap, none, none. Smallest overlapping index. This should be an index value. This should be an index value. So largest overlapping, and then does this. Oh, these aren't the same name. None type. We could chat GPT it, but I'm pretty sure the logic is the same. With 0, 0. It doesn't have any edge case instructions. Like, because it could be 0 for intervals.length. So what happens if it's 0? Oh, do I just return it empty? That could be it. That could be it. There we go. Now we're getting values. Output should be 1. Six, 9 is 1, 1 is the other, and it's doing what it should do. Index, index, index. Intervals, new interval, intervals, new interval. There's probably some sort of typo in here, but it's doing the right thing for the upper bound, and I'm getting the upper bound. Dot append intervals index 0, intervals index 1. Overlap interval dot append. And then in this it's saying take the intervals slice from this index, the smallest index, to the largest index, and replace that index with this new value. Oh, intervals index Yeah, replace the slice with this new value. This should work. I think there's some sort of typo, so let's check it in ChatGPT. There's that. Just put the constraints in. It should be the same thing. My solution. I just want to see what I did here. There's always some sort of mini typo. That's why these like challenges are kind of useless in an actual interview, because if you make a typo, it's like, it's not that you don't know how to solve it. It's just the fact that there's something in here. Few issues, randomly incorrect handling of overlaps, but there could be multiple intervals. The overlap. What if there are no overlaps? What if new interval goes completely before all or after? Oh yeah, so if it's not, then you could just add it to the end. So there's the before and after, and then we can handle the before and after case pretty easily. It's just like if before and after. Because we're already doing in between. So we could just do the before here. I need to give more space here, basically, but this is what happens. We know it's ascending, so if the largest is greater than the smallest, so if intervals index 1 is greater than new interval 1, I think it's push and pop. Insert array value in array in list. Python. It's probably insert. Yes. Let's insert it at 0. So you can do this. This essentially says if it's smaller than the range, insert at the beginning. Stick another dose. What level of defense am I at? Okay, almost 67, so we're at 66 right now, which is not bad. But then basically, if it's at the end, so if it's at the last index, basically just say if I could even do it before this check. So if the last index .1 is less than, so if the last index second element is less than the first element of intervals 1, the first of the new intervals, then just return new interval. Then we just return from there. That should technically get all the cases. So now it's just a case of what did I make a typo in. Modify my solution to solve for Python. I think I might splice. Trying to use insert zero slice. Where is it? Where is my... intervals.insert. What did I do? Intervals.insert at the 0 element. Intervals 0.insert. Insert 0 AB. So many typos because I'm going between languages. Also, I'm just killing time while I train, so I'm not really in a rush to solve these. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. New interval. Expected. 2513. Okay, cool. Now let's mod it. Very close. List append intervals. The append interval returns none. List append returns none. Oh, or append and then return. Bro, there's so much syntactical error with this, like I'm not even concerned at this point. It's like incorrect use of append. List.append intervals is a list. Modifies it in place and returns none. So it'll make it equal to none. You have to go append it and then, oh, you just append it in place. Okay. Add all the intervals before new. Merge all the overlapping. Just modify my code to work and comment on places that were fixed. I just want to see what I did. Yeah, the append is wrong. Moved early interval. New interval 1 is less than early interval 0. Okay, check if this, okay, cool. So check if it's between. I was doing like multiple cases. Oh, I didn't even know you could do this in Python. That's nice. Okay. Is not none. Handle full overlap. I want to see where the slice happens. Okay, so it's still going one by one, so you can't just slice. I originally wanted yeah, you see, this is what I was trying to do. Overlapping interval, new interval. Intervals the last element to see if it's at the end and append it. First element, append it to the beginning. Okay, that's my code. For index in the range, so now we go through my code, check if it's in between, check if the other element is in between, and find out which interval overlaps. If overlap both, do slicing, yes. And then if do interval is fully outside, okay, let's try this. And then return intervals. I don't think I need the while loop, but I'll add it if I have to. I'm just curious to see if it works at this point. In the middle, fully outside and in the middle. Okay, so this probably corrects it at the end. What case does it fail? If no overlaps, insert it in the correct position. Okay, so this is what it does instead of slicing. Use slicing logic to insert. Okay, let's try that. I don't know why it's doing all this enumeration crap. So this is the negative side of ChatGPT. Yeah, that works. You see all these typos in enumerate intervals, like you don't have to do all that. Make this as simple as possible. I just want to see what this would turn out to be. Because like the JavaScript splice would have been, okay. 4 enumerate intervals, okay, cool. That's crazy. But yeah, as you can see, this goes pretty crazy. But the logic is pretty much sound. So if you like this guy, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, and I'll just out.